Hello, hello. Well, wherever you are today, this is something to maybe sit back and listen to a few catch-up points on the Funky Farmer channel. I've been pretty flat out the last week doing videos and basically doing the shed, and sometimes it's time to draw breath and just give you a bit of a catch-up on a few things. So I kind of thought I'd do that today. So first of all, really, several things to talk about. I've got just about the new shed, our TB situation, which is a bit iffy, the calendar, and I'm going to reveal where some of the money from the calendar is going to go to, and also a little, maybe I'll tell you a little bit about something exciting that's coming soon. Okay, so back to the shed first of all. Behind me, awesome, look, shed roof. What you really need on that shed roof though is a Funky Farmer. Okay, so I might have had heart failure, but my funk is back. I'm feeling good. I still don't know about my heart, I'm still waiting for the scan, but I feel great, and I'm still going to be doing the tires and stuff. I might do that as a thing going forward now. I started it, the first one I did I think was on top of the tractor, wasn't it? The old Massey from Chandler's, and that was a real laugh, and I thought, you know what, I could do this. Every now and then you might get a Tarzan Funky Farmer somewhere, because it's just a laugh, isn't it? Anyway, the shed is finished. Tim finished earlier in the week. We ordered the cattle are inside. Look, you can see behind me there, they're just having a bit of feed there. But look at it. We haven't really had the rain yet to sort of test it out how it's going to work. But as an asset on the farm, I'm really pleased. I mean, I think the thing is, do you know what? It sort of lifts your spirits when you do something positive and you feel like you've created something good. Believe it or not, this shed's been 2 years in the planning, from me sorting out the planning application. Then it got bogged down with COVID and even the Ukraine thing, and the chap who was originally going to do it for us couldn't do it. He basically had health problems, and then we sort of, luckily Farmer P gave me the heads up that there's a chap called Tim Rugman that could do sheds. I'd never used him before, but he's been really good. He's a sound guy. I am really pleased with how they worked and the finish, and you know, he's a very quiet, sort of steady guy, but he just gets on with it and he knows what he's doing. He really did. It's been a positive. You might have realised I uploaded quite a few videos about the shed, but when we built the lagoon, you've not seen one video apart from the reveal I did at the end, which stayed on YouTube for one day, and then I took it down. That's because really, although we invested a lot of time and money in that lagoon, I didn't enjoy doing it. It was a project we were pushed into. We had to get up to environmental regs. I dealt with a difficult person. It was a massive investment for our farm, and it felt like, to me, a millstone around my neck. It's not added nothing to my life. So I didn't really, although I've got loads of video on YouTube, not on YouTube, on my computer, I've never edited it and put it all up for you to see. Maybe one day I'll do it, I don't know. But on the other hand with this, it felt really good to get on with something that I really felt I wanted to do and was really positive, and will be a real asset to us. You know, Lagoon sits there, does a job. I don't really enjoy the thought of it. I don't even like looking at it because it's an ugly thing. This is just a project that is really useful for cows, for whatever, and for going forward. You feel like you're going forward with a farm. A lot of people don't see what goes on in the background. I only put so much on YouTube. There's a lot of things planning going ahead in my head. It makes me laugh that people have always nagged us about mowers. Well, I've always said I'd rather spend the money on a shed than a mower that doesn't get used that much. So I was hoping to do a mower next year. Not sure where we're going with that now, because it cost us more money than I thought for this shed, which was partly because of, well, mostly because of Ukraine really, because the steel price just went up. All materials have gone up. Also, we are banging money into the cows with the hay. Look, it's over there now. Can you see that over there? I've got through nearly all the bales we had delivered in the other week, and I'm now about to get another load in that's going to cost me a load of money as well. So I don't know whether the mower's going to happen next year or not. That's going to be really in the lap of the gods. But you know, and sometimes, do you know what you got? Oh, I'm just wobbling my camera. Sometimes you got to sort of like sit back and take a breathing space, because I've sort of ran with this. Still not sure about cladding on there, whether to do it or whether to leave it or what. That's another cost, and it's just, you know, and we're going to see how we go with the winter, and also feed costs, but also fertiliser costs. I'm quite worried about where we're going with fertiliser. No one seems to know on that. Anyway, so that's the shed, but you know, what a spot on cracking thing. Look, here's a little brief clip of shed work. Son, you can do it. Hear those air brakes, can't you? You just lift it up and then you put all these up. You're gonna have our mate when he gets home. He's gonna have our mate when he gets home. Yeah. See you later.
Nobody gives me earache.
It's alright, they got the rubbish job of cleaning out the hole. Yeah. Yeah, well done. Good work. So there you go, that was Tim doing shed work. Shed work. I love it. Right, so we're going on, I'm doing shed work in a minute actually. I might show you this. I've got some, look at this. Pylon paint this is. Best manufacture date, May 30, 2013. Expiry date, May 2014. That'd be all right. It's a bit like the cheese in the fridge, isn't it? If it's got an expiry date on, it's still all right. You just got to scrape the mould off. That'll be okay. So that's pylon paint left over from when they painted the pylons on our farm. And what I'm going to do, because we haven't galvanised the uprights, some of the steelwork on this farm, my dad galvanised, but we were kind of pushing on budget on that, so we didn't galvanise. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a bit of pylon paint around the bit where the girder goes into the floor, so that it doesn't rust out as quickly. To be honest, they're so heavy duty, they'll see me out, but you know, for the sake of doing it now, I can do it and it's done, isn't it? At no cost. Can't do any harm, can it? Anyway, TB. Let me just get back to you on TB. Right, here's a couple of photos. I didn't do a video on TB testing because, to be honest, I've sort of done a little bit of that, and I'm sick to death of TB testing. So here's a couple of pictures, and I'll tell you. Paperwork, not good. There you go, so there's a brief couple of snaps. Actually, the guy who did the testing was a really interesting guy. He used to be a zookeeper. Did you know that it costs £1,000 a week to feed the penguins at Bristol Zoo? Did you know that the lions and tigers in Bristol Zoo were fed on Dartmoor ponies? How about that, from Dartmoor, when they cull them? Just a couple of facts there I didn't know. Right, here we go. Notification of tuberculosis testing requirements for inconclusive reactors. Notification of herb restrictions under the 3-year rule. Right, let me just, there's a lot to read here. Let me just have a look through this and I'll get back to you a sec. Right, back to the paper. I've got a lot here actually. I just thought I'd tell you briefly where we're at on this, and it is a bit rubbish really. So I don't know how long ago, 6 months ago or something, we got moved into an area which is classed as high risk for TB. It's got a specific name, but I've forgotten what it is. So, because this area has had a lot of reactors with TB. So, what that meant is we then have been moved to 6 monthly testing regime. We were on annual testing, as long as we're clear. We've moved to 6 monthly testing as our routine testing, which is a real pain in the ass really, because I hate testing cattle. However, it also means that we've got a kind of further thing going on. So that's a pain in itself. So what happened is, through the test, we went all the way through the test, right to the last 3 cows, and sure enough, 1 cow has reacted. Now what it's reacted as is inconclusive. 205 it is. It's reacted inconclusive. So what that means is that they're not sure if she's got TB or not. They're going to have to do a retest in 60 days time. Okay, so December the 5th we put that for. In the meantime, we've got Isolator. She's in calf. She's a dry cow, so that's not so bad. She's a dry cow. She's due to calve about the 14th of November. So I was thinking, okay, that's a problem, but you know, hey ho, what can we do? I assumed we weren't shut down, so I thought we could sell calves to market. How wrong we were, because I got this other letter that came through. Notification of restrictions under 3-year rule. Now, because we've had I didn't realise this. Because we basically had a reactor and failed a TB test less than 3 years ago, although we're classed as having inconclusive, they've withdrawn our, as it say here on here somewhere, there's a lot to read. We've officially lost our tuberculosis-free status. So what they're saying is, although we haven't been officially declared as having TB, we are treated the same as if we have got TB. So what that means is we can't sell calves to market, and we can only sell stuff to an orange market but the problem with the orange markets, they tend to be only for they're not for older calves. Sorry, younger calves, they're for older calves. So 3-week-old stuff we normally sell, like the Anguses, we can't sell them. We might be able to sell them to someone like Meadow Quality. I've rang the guy who normally buys them. They pay a rapidly reduced price, a massively reduced price, because of the problems we got. We've also got to fill in these flipping forms. If we want to sell a cow to an abattoir or something, it's form, whatever it is, TB204, which is funny because the cow is 205 that's been isolated. Look at this, pages of paper, of stuff you've got to fill out all about what's happened to you. So, but at the moment I don't know whether we're going to be able to sell any calves or not, because the Meadow Quality bloke hadn't phoned me back. I know we can't sell them to market because they're too young really. There's no orange market for young calves as far as I'm concerned. So that means we've lost the income from that calves for now, potentially, and going forward I have no idea where we're going to go with shutdown. If we go clear on December the 5th, we're fine, and we'll be alright, we start selling fruit. If we're shut down December the 5th with TB because of this inconclusive, then that means we're pretty well shut down the whole winter, and we're going to have to carry all the calves through the whole of winter. That's going to mean we're going to be bulging. It's a nightmare. It's bad enough keeping normal cows on winter. We've had this before. Couldn't have probably picked a worse time to be shut down really if we go through the winter, because it'll mean that all the Angus calves we got due all through the year, Christ almighty, that's going to be loads. Right through to April, I don't know. It's a worry, that is a worry. So, you know, You gotta laugh, guys, haven't you? My 2022 has been a bit crap, really. But we got a new shed. That's the main thing. New shed. So you gotta laugh at me. So going forward with TB, we're a bit screwed on that, I think. Oh, fingers crossed for December the 5th and December the 8th, is it? The follow-up one? You'll see anyway. Anyway, let's go back to positive, because that's a bit rubbish. Calendar. Whoop, 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 whoop. Funky Farmer calendar. Look, you can see the nice pictures. They're all the pictures that are in it on the back. Inside, let me just randomly pick a page. There we go, silage making. There we go. If you haven't bought one of these already, there's the cows. You might have seen I'm plugging it heavily because I don't want to be stuck with any of these. You know, just January the 1st, they're really not really good to me, are they? I've sold majority of them, but I have got some left. So if you're thinking of buying a calendar for someone, and I've tried to do a mix. What I've tried doing, okay, in this calendar, I did do quite a lot of thought. It's really difficult to keep everyone happy. So I've got cows, but I've also got a bit of funkiness. I love those pictures from Ken there, look, and there's me looking like usual, a bit of a wally. But I've also tried to go for sort of country file style pictures. These are all taken by me, by the way. You know, some nice pictures, and some of the kids, because I know people want to see the kids, and chickens. Let me just go through. Lands, that was just a nice picture. I wish I'd had the boys on top of there, but that is just a nice, colourful picture. I like that picture. Cows, tractors, Ford. It's not Fordson, is it? Ford New Holland, isn't it? It's not even called Ford anymore. It just shows my age. New Holland now. There's all of us. Now, I find it a bit weird putting a picture of myself on a calendar, but I appreciate it for those of you like the Funky Farmer want to see our family. And I have to say, this is a funny picture because there's two pictures like this. I did it on a timer on a tripod. The first picture, we were just going like that, and I didn't like that. I thought it looked a bit rubbish. So what I did, if you can't really tell, but behind there, I'm tickling my wife. And I'm also, I'm tickling my wife and I'm going, ah! So I made the boys smile. Buddy moved his head, which is a little bit blurry. But you can see my wife's cheesy grin because she's been tickled by me. And I like that because it's just a bit more fun. It's a bit more me, isn't it, guys? Another nice, colourful picture there of the orchard. Muck spreading! Get your muck out. I like that one because it's just random, isn't it? How many people have got a muck spreader on their wall? Not many. And if you're having a shit day, I think you can come back and look it on the calendar. Eat more shit, mum. Sorry about the French there. And then finally, I got this kind of lovely kind of countryside scene there. So anyway, there you go. If you want to buy one, and please do. Please don't leave me with a calendar for 400 calendars for Christmas. No, I think there's about 40 left. Go to www.richardcornock.co.uk/shop and buy one. Now, I haven't officially announced this before about what I'm going to do with the money. Now, it's quite funny because the idea of a calendar really is to just have a bit of fun, raise some money for myself, obviously, because I'm like everything. You go to work, you work for money, don't you? The idea of this is that if people want to support me or my family, I'm selling you something that I like the idea of selling something to people rather than saying, you know, if you want to give me some money for a donation to something. I don't like doing stuff like that. I really like saying, you can buy a Funky Farmer calendar, you get something good out of it, and I get a few quid. And I think that's a fair trade, isn't it? Because no one's making you buy it. You can just watch the Funky Farm for free otherwise. But off the back of that, I also feel that I like to put things back into society and do stuff. Some of you saw me, you know, I did the head shave for charity a few years ago for Air Ambulance. And last year, what I did with the calendar, it wasn't a thought, I wouldn't plan to do it, but I had a chat with a PE teacher I know at a local school where my sons go, and he said, oh, they're desperately in need of some new kit. So in the end, what I did, I donated some money to the school and bought them some sports kit. I think I bought 24 footballs or something, some nice ones, about 200 quid's worth or something of footballs. So this year, I thought, actually, do you know what, this year I will actually make a thing of actually doing something good. But I didn't want to sell it as a charity calendar because that's not really what it's about. I kind of do it as, I'd like you to buy a calendar because you feel like you like a calendar, not because you feel like you need to support a calendar charity. So it's not a charity calendar as such, but, and I haven't told anyone really about this till nearly they're all sold, so that's quite a good thing. I feel like you're buying a calendar because you really like it. But off the back of the calendar, what I am actually doing is I'm going to pay for a student at Hartpury College for some training. Because some of you probably saw, I went back to Hartpury College and I went up there. My friend Trev is a lecturer there, and I went there and I watched them earlier in the year. Is it earlier in the year or last year? I can't remember. It might have been last year. I watched someone doing a telehandler course. So here's a little clip of that, doing a little bit of telehandler work. There you go. So that was the sort of training that students can do on top of the basic courses they're doing. Now the thing is, those courses aren't cheap, you know, and it's up to students to find the money to do those. And I was really impressed with the students being able to do it, and I also realised that not everyone can afford the money to do those courses. You know, it's difficult times, and some students maybe come from a more affluent background, just shall I say, or have got the ability to pay for that, but not everyone has. So I'm working with my friend Trev to sort of find a way for, you know, to maybe pay for some people that can't necessarily afford to do one of those courses. So I will be funding a student to do some sort of training there. I am actually it is going to be a kind of little bit competitive, that through, I think Trev's sorting out through sort of like kind of, they got to come forward and tell me why they need the money and you know, why it's good for them, sort of thing. So it's not just a random pick. It will be someone, I think, that will probably appreciate it and put it to good use. So effectively what you're doing if you buy that calendar is you're supporting me, the Funky Farmer, so that I can do things, but also you are basically helping a student somewhere, which I think is kind of like a nice thing for us all to do, isn't it? Anyway, so that's enough of that. There they go. Plug over. Funky Farmer calendar, you know where it's at. Right, I'm going down with me can of paint. Do you want to come with me? We're gonna just go and splash a bit of paint on. What time is it? Oh, I haven't got. Oh, he hasn't finished milking. I've still got time to go and do this. I'm gonna glove up. Let's get the lid off here. Let's splash out a bit of paint. All right. Oh, it's gone a bit hard. Got a big thing on the front. That don't matter. Let's get down and put some of this on. There we go. You can see it right by where I put September 22. You can see it. It's just where the actual pillar goes into the ground, and I just want to put on a very basic coat of this pylon paint, because I can't see what harm it will do. It's just going to seal that a bit better. From experience in my old barns, I have found that they all end up, let's just put it on the concrete as well, isn't it? They all end up rusting off on this bottom bit. It's just where the moisture gets to, and also if you've got cow poo and stuff. And this pylon paint is blooming the dog's doodads, really. So let's just put that on there. Slap it on, baby. Slap it on. Look at that. I flipping clean these off. Just look, I brushed these all off before lunch, and oh, hang on. I'm trying to open my penknife. I brushed these off before lunch, and the blooming cows. Oh, flipping! This is why you got to do them when they're new, because the cow poo is already on them. That's cement. I'm not worried about painting over a bit of cement. But the bloody cows, it's splattered from there. Oh. There we go. One down, 5 more to go. Right. What I think I might do is I might make this part of a routine, is just do it every few years, just to keep that safe and sound. And you can see over there the pillars at the back. Can you see those? The ones my dad puts in, they were galvanised, which is a lot better job. But we just, well, I didn't even entertain it on this one. But right, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to carry on painting. But further updates soon. Keep going. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the big one. I'll tell you about that another day. 2 weeks time, we're doing something very exciting. Crack on.